Sid the Shark. Ah, oh my gosh. After getting off the school bus, Sid waited in line on the blacktop. The sound of his fellow classmates was deafening. Why is there a shark in room 13's line? Immediately, Sid went to hang up his lunchbox on the hook outside the portable. He was hoping that his snack would not be stolen by the crows that were watching him from the school's rooftop. How did Sid even find himself in this situation, you ask? Well, Sid was born in the deep Pacific Ocean, and he was proud to be a handsome fish. He knew the fishermen came out from all over the world to catch good looking sharks just like him. He sat, which is slowly floating for a shark, and contemplated being netted at sea. He met a lot of nice fish in that net and found an especially entertaining octopus named Squish. Squish was initially rather aloof to the sharks, and Sid thought perhaps she was ill. It was 6 a.m., and the most handsome fish were brought to a quaint little fish market named Rosie's Seafood City. Sid was fascinated when he watched the customers stream into the store. One by one, fish were chosen, wrapped in butcher paper, and whisked away by their new owners. Some fish were bought by the dozens and put in boxes to go to restaurants. This is so exciting. I wonder who will choose me. Just then, Sid looked up. He saw a lady pointing right at him. Before he had a chance to even say goodbye, the cashier grabbed a paper bag and scooped him up. She wrapped him in a newspaper section and squealed, "Thank you, Miss Hammerbottom. I'll see you again next week." Miss Hammerbottom, thought Sid. What a beautiful name. I wonder if she's related to Mr. Hammerhead. I can hardly wait to meet her. The ride to Miss Hammerbottom's house was a little bumpy. Sid was grateful for the soft paper towels that the cashier had placed at the bottom of the bag. Sid wished he could see the sights out of the car window, but more than anything, he wished he could meet Miss Hammerbottom. Why does she keep me in this bag all wrapped up in a newspaper? He wondered to himself. Finally, the car stopped, and Sid was picked up and brought straight into the house and laid flat on the kitchen counter. Nice granite countertops, he said to himself, but I do much prefer a sea glass surface. Mrs. Hammerbottom gently lifted Sid from the counter and placed him on a wooden cutting board. How sweet, murmured Sid. She wants to cuddle me and wrap me for a nap on some driftwood. He shut his eyes and tried to gently doze off. Suddenly, he heard some rummaging around and opened his eyes. There was Miss Hammerbottom with a huge three-pronged fork about to stab him right in the middle. "What are you doing?" he shrieked. Miss Hammerbottom was stunned and threw the fork to the floor. "Well, I was going to slice you up for tonight's sushi," she cautiously replied. "Slice me!" Sid cried, his baby teeth flying everywhere. "Why in the world would you do that? Do you make a habit of slicing up all of your house guests?" "Of course not," replied Miss Hammerbottom, sounding limp and embarrassed. "Then why would you slice me?" asked Sid. Now, Miss Hammerbottom knew it was quite against etiquette to dwell on possible trouble ahead or even allude to it, so she quickly dropped the subject. Regardless, Sid was still understandably nervous. Is this what happens to all my sea creature friends? What about that cute little octopus Squish? He had to think of a slick plan and put his best fin forward. He turned to Miss Hammerbottom. Please let me introduce myself. My name is Sid, and as a great white shark, I don't quite think it's legal to slice and roll me into sushi." "Oh my!" gasped Miss Hammerbottom. "I quite thought you were a dogfish shark with those beautiful eyes and toothy grin. I'm so pleased to meet you." "Well, would you mind if I used your phone?" Sid asked nervously. Now, Miss Hammerbottom knew that it would be rude to inconvenience her guest in any way, so she quickly handed over her phone. Sid picked it up with a nervous flourish. I'm afraid I need to call the fishmonger at Rosie's Seafood right away. Sid quickly dialed up the seafood store. Rosie? He asked politely. Speaking, replied the voice. This is Sid the baby shark your fishmonger sold this morning. I don't want to alarm you, but are you aware that your netted fish are in grave danger? I mean, I was almost folded into a sushi roll. I'm a great white shark, for goodness sake, and, well, that's illegal. I'm sorry, Sid. We are a fish market and sell all our fish to be eaten. I thought you knew that. And also, you are a spiny dogfish shark, not a great white. That's why you look so cute with those big eyes and crooked teeth, she added. Flattery will get you nowhere, retorted Sid, but I would like to ask you one more question. Where did that beautiful little octopus end up? At the Monterey Bay Aquarium, the fishmonger whispered. Sid suddenly hung up. He had heard enough. He wished that he could somehow stay alive to rescue his lovely eight-legged friend. Go ahead, he sobbed. Go ahead and fold me into sushi. Let's get it over with, Miss Hammerbottom. Well, I'm not going to fold you into sushi now, Miss Hammerbottom said sheepishly. She knew it was impolite to bend, slice, or even argue with the guest. Instead, she talked about the weather, always a safe subject. Nice spring we're having, wouldn't you say? Indeed, yes, replied Sid. He also let out a sigh of relief. Phew. What am I going to do with you then? Questioned Miss Hammerbottom. Now that we know you need protection, both as a guest and as a great white shark. Well, don't you need a pet? Asked Sid. No, I have a cat, and a goldfish, and a gerbil, answered Miss Hammerbottom. How about a driver? Do you need a gardener? Do you know about those jobs? Queried Miss Hammerbottom. No, replied Sid. I was really just brainstorming. Well, let's make a few lists so we can focus better. What are some things you're bad at? I'm bad at ballet, putting on shoes. I'm not good at tongue twisters. Magic tricks are not my thing. I can't rip out pages from a workbook very neatly. I'm bad at flossing, skipping, and keeping my fins to myself. Are you afraid of anything? Now that we know what you're bad at, maybe you have some fears. Well, I'm afraid of yoga, memes, and smelly rubber bands. What are some things you're good at? I'm good at shooting marbles. I'm great at drawing tattoos on myself with markers. I'm good at lying around. I can play in the bathroom, especially with toilet paper. In fact, I can make great things out of toilet paper. I'm good at unfolding paper clips and digging into my erasers. I'm good at chewing on pencils. I like to make a lot of odd noises. I eat chapstick when no one's looking. Well, I hate to say this, Miss Hammerbottom quivered, but I don't think that I have any need for those skills at all. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Sid started to cry. I understand, he wept. I'll just be going now. Would you mind if I brought the newspaper that I was wrapped up in? It'll give me something to read. What? You know how to read? For goodness sake, Sid. I'm a school teacher. How would you like to go to school? I've always wanted to be in a school, yelped Sid. But that is for book number 2. Sid Goes to School.